You can access the entire episode now on our website, forbiddenknowledge.news, Rokfin, Rumble, and all podcast platforms.
In July 1988, this is about 6 months after that experience, I was watching television with my dad in the lounge room, and it was about 11:15. A movie had just started, a late movie, and back in those days, you'd have the late movie and then the TV station would shut down. There'd be like a test thing on the screen, and there'd be maybe a picture of the Opera House with a song, My City of Sydney, playing, and that'd mean that the station is closed. And that would happen probably around 2:30, 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, something like that. So my dad and I are sitting in the TV room, and we're watching this TV, we're in the lounge room, and watching this show. And 10 minutes into this show, my brother walks out of my bedroom. He was asleep in my bedroom, walked out of my bedroom, walked into the TV room and said to me, "Can you go and watch TV in your room? I want to sleep out here." And I thought it was silly. You're already asleep, like stay there. But anyway, I didn't mind my privacy. I hadn't lived on my own for so long. I got up and I walked into my bedroom. I sat down on my bed and I leant over and turned. I had a little colour Toshiba television, and it was sitting on a little coffee table. And I just leant over and turned the TV on. And as I went to lay on the bed, I put my hands behind my head like that, cupped my hand together, and I went to lie on the bed, and I had my legs crossed. My right leg crossed over my left leg. And as I went to lay on the bed, before my hands or my head hit the pillow, I felt something grab me around my ankles. And to me, it felt like it could have been, the part index finger and thumb, that part of your hand. But then at the same time, it could have been an object, because as soon as I felt it touch me, I got pins and needles crawling up, like really this paralysis sensation of pins and needles crawling up through my body and crawling up through my legs, all the way up through my body to my head. My face went all really, like I at the time described it like ants crawling through, my scalp, my face, but it was like more like electrical sort of current or something, but static electricity sort of thing. But yeah, it reached the top of my head and I could feel it all tingling, and I became paralyzed. I could not move. Now, I'm claustrophobic at the best of times. Like, I don't do well in an elevator that stops and, got to wait for someone to come and open it. In saying that, I work in security now, after working in the building industry, and I've been involved at work where there was an armed robbery and I had a shotgun to my head for 7 minutes in an 8-minute robbery. I got hit with the gun a number of times, the butt of the gun and the barrel of the gun. I handled it, everyone was safe. There was about 60 patrons in the place, nobody got hurt. Everybody was, happy with the way I handled it and dealt with it. I basically I'm not being a hero here, but I wanted all the attention on me and leave the other people alone, and I knew I could control the situation. I've got some street smarts. I've, been there sort of in the rough, lived a rough life for a while, and I can handle the street stuff. But yeah, I've dealt with a lot of different things in my life. But as soon as I became paralyzed and I couldn't move, it started to freak me out a little bit. It started to freak me out a lot, actually. And I couldn't understand why I was becoming paralyzed, why this was happening to me. And the first thought that came to my head was, something obviously has gone wrong medically. You're going to be paralyzed, because I couldn't move. I couldn't move any part of my body, but I had my eyes open, and I reckon if I was asleep, my eyes were closed, I wouldn't have been able to open them and see anything. But my eyes were open, and as the thought going through my head, you're going to be paralyzed. Like, I'm trying to call out to my dad and my brother to get them to come into the room. I couldn't make a sound. I could think. My mind was functioning. I could say their names in my head, but nothing would come out. My voice box just wasn't working. I had no voice at all. And as I'm thinking, oh my God, you're going to be paralyzed. Your parents are going to walk in the morning and wake you up, or in the afternoon if they think you slept in, and you're not going to be able to get out of bed. You're going to be in a wheelchair, you know. And I'm thinking, oh, people will say, oh, it's the lifestyle he lived, you know. Oh, this is what happens when. Look, I wasn't bad. It wasn't like I did anything really criminal bad or anything. It was just I ran amok, you know. I lived my own life. I ran with a bit of a rough crowd in that, you know. But at the same time, I was doing martial arts and 3 different types of martial arts and that. So I was committed to things. It wasn't like I, you know, was a lost soul. So as I'm thinking, you're paralyzed, you're not going to walk again, you're going to be in a wheelchair, I notice at the foot of the bed, there's a being, a creature standing at the foot of my bed, and it terrified the daylights out of me because it looked like a gorilla. It looked like a solid, robust gorilla with wearing a monk's robe with the hood on its head, which obviously made its head look bigger, but it had a white face, gorilla-like. That's the best description. Now, years later, I came across the book Communion, and the 2 types of entities that are described in that book, which I'll describe in a second, are exactly the same. And if I had to get an artist and give him to do a rendering of what I saw, I don't think I could have given such accurate details as whoever did the artwork for Communion, the book Communion by Whitney Strieber. It's perfect. There's nothing I could look at that picture and go, nah, they look different with that, or, you know, the chin was different or whatever. But what I saw in front of me was one being, and then I turned my eyes to the left, and I couldn't move my head, so I could only move my eyes to either side. And I saw there were another 2 on the other side of me, on the right side, so they're between me and my little TV. And they're standing there, and they're bloody horrific looking, like, you know, they look like monsters. And I was in full panic mode. I started to sweat. I was, you know, trying to jump out of bed, trying to move. I want to fight. I want to throw punches. I want to, you know, you're in my room. You're taking control of me. I want to fight back. And I couldn't do a thing. And that really sort of shocked me that there was nothing I could do at all. And just my description of what the beings looked like was, as I said, gorilla-like, bluish black, shiniest, not shiny, but had a bit of a shine to it on the cheeks, and dark skin, deep set wrinkles in the forehead. I mean, deep set wrinkles, a wide nose, deep set eyes, really you could see dark under them, big lips. Anything else I've ever seen, I've never seen aliens with big massive lips or anything, but these things, they were honestly, it was like having a gorilla, like a 3-4 foot tall gorilla, put it in a monk's robe, put the hood over its head. That's what I was looking at. Wow. And it terrified me because I thought it was evil. I thought it was the devil, and I thought I'm, you know, dying, or they're taking my soul, whatever. So I'm panicking. I'm trying to assess what's going on, and then something caught my attention on the left side of the bed, and as I looked just with my eyes, I saw 2 beings that were completely different to the others that I saw, the gorilla-looking ones. These beings were very slim, very tall, and actually reminded me of the ones I saw in Lebanon, in that egg-shaped object, the shape of their body and how tall they were and the shape of the head. And they were goldish in color. Now, I don't know if it was a jumpsuit, but their whole body, head to toe, was goldish in color. And they had the oval-shaped heads with the pointy chins, big almond-shaped eyes. You know, you could say bigger than a horse's or a cow's eyes. A very, very... you couldn't even see a reach for the nose or anything. It was, you could see a line, and then you saw 2 nostrils, and they were just oddly shaped nostrils, and then a little thin line as if you drew it with a pencil. I didn't see lips. I didn't see their lips move.